I feel like this week's episode name should have been like Let's Beat Ann's Ass Week or something, girl. Hey, it's your boy AJ back with another freaking video, and today I'm here with another Baddies South review. We're gonna get right on into it. But before we get into the video, you guys, I do want to let y'all know episode 2 of part 2 of the Story Time in the Mental Hospital series has been dropped. So make sure you go watch that before we get fully deep in this video. Then come back here and we're gonna talk about Baddies South. Everything will be either popping up on the screen or either leaked down in the description box. But please follow along to the series because we finna get into the sugar honey iced tea, child. The episode opens up with Persuasion and Ann fighting, child. The couch tumbles, it flips over, and so the cameraman has a hard time on grasping what's going on, child. So they end up, getting the girls separated. But in the midst of separation, the security's in the middle and Ann is fucking up security, child. I light on fucking up. Girls stand up or whatever. They do actually do a little part 2. It wasn't too much of a second fight. So Ann goes upstairs. Clearly she's embarrassed, child. She's trying to run and hide. And Rock pops out of nowhere like, do you want round 2, bitch? Do you want round 3 type gig? And I'm like, Rock, where the fuck did you come from? Like, bitch, where have you been? Like, why would you? I just don't like Rock. I have not spoke about it in the other reviews, but I've been trying to give her the time of day, and I done made it to this 3rd episode, and I'm like, I don't like Rock. It's official. I don't like Rock, and I don't like Ann. I'm like, Rock, you coming out here trying to make a moment, and it's not really giving it. It's not really giving it at all. Like, y'all did what y'all did yesterday, and you snuck her the first time, and the second time, she was really just over it, child. And I just don't like Rock. Rock just does the most, and I guess because every time I see Rock, she got that blue cup, and that blue cup really bothers me. It makes me not even want to watch the show. Like, they need to edit it out of the next episode, blur it out or something. Like, if the bitch even have in the confessionals, the bitch got the blue face cup, and I be tired of the blue face cup, child. So after Rock comes out and try to does her big one, Slim is in the confessionals, child, being flip-flop bitch of the year, saying basically, I don't like how Rock is doing it, X, Y, and Z. I understand. I don't like how Rock did it either, but like, bitch, you was just living for Rock. You was just like, oh yeah, you thumping, you beating hoes ass, but you being flip-floppy in the confessional. I don't like that, because bitch, if I was on a reality show, you gonna see me how I feel right in person, and you gonna catch this shit in confessionals too. Like, bitch, it's not gonna give flip-flop. It never gave flip-flop. It never gave Gucci flip-flops. It never gave slides. It never gave. So from the next scene, we see Sway go outside, and we see Ann go upstairs and have like a complete meltdown in the restroom, child. In the midst of her meltdown, she's in there screaming and shouting. I don't even think she has phone on her. I don't know who she was in the restroom talking to, but she was just in there having a fucking meltdown. Producers end up pulling her out of the restroom, and Ann end up goes downstairs, and she sees Rock downstairs. So now, of course, Rock and Ann are gonna do they talking back and forth because they didn't fought Persuasion. Well, I really didn't understand why Ann was doing too much talking, because on the value of hands, Ann did not match Rock at all, child. So I did not understand why Ann was down there doing her big one, talking her big one like, girl, shut up. Why you got flipped over the couch, bitch? You got flipped over the couch and you got your ass beat. So what I did pick up on is everybody is getting kind of frustrated with Rock, how I'm feeling too there in the confessionals. I remember Slim talking about her, and then also Rolly was in the confessionals talking about Rock. Like, everybody was kind of feeling the vibe where I was like, Rock kind of does too much. She's trying to make her moment. Like, we understand you can fight, girl, but you ain't got to give it up every 3 seconds. Like, it becomes boring at that point. Let the fights be genuine. Let the fights be about something, and not because you see somebody else fighting, you want to do it again. Like, girl, shut up, be quiet, sit down, hush. So after Ann and Rock have their little forced conversation, they pan to Persuasion being outside with production reading them down. Persuasion's like, look here, I'm going home if either one of them bitches don't go home. We're not gonna have both of these bitches attacking me, snatching my motherfucking wig off that been on for about 30-40 minutes, and this wig $800, $700, $800, bitch, and not now one of y'all productions motherfuckers getting paid for this goddamn wig. Once this bitch done got snatched off last night, nobody offered up to pay me, so she is down there re-in production now. This little check y'all giving me, I'ma use it up on new wigs every day. Like, girl, Persuasion's outside just going off on production and telling them like, here's to motherfucking expectations and limitations, bitch. And Natalie Nunn pops up with a confessional. I don't know what her confessional was, but let me tell you something, Zeus is shady. Whoever the fuck is editing these episodes of Baddies and keep cutting where you can see Natalie's stomach rolls is going to jail. I don't know who keep doing that, but every time I get my key, I get my motherfucking key, bitch. Alright, so the next scene is where I think I see in the background, I think production was loading some of the Baddies bags onto like the pink bus or whatever, and Rolly was outside with a couple girls. I think it was Slim and Rock and Ann. Yeah, Slim Rock and Ann was outside with Rolly, and Rolly was telling y'all like, hey, look here, y'all, if y'all gotta fight, y'all need to fight now before we get on this bus, because when we get on the bus, bitch, and anybody tap me, breach me, anything, I'm going to beat your fucking ass. And of course, Miss Firehead Rock has something to say about it, child. She was so like, who? And I'm like, girl, just calm down. Just calm it down. Just calm it down all the way. So we're gonna skip on right on to it, to Ann's second fight of the episode, child. They were headed on to the bus. They were actually finna head on to North Carolina, child, and they had been trying to get there forever. They had been delayed because the bitches wanted to fight early in the morning, and then these bitches decided to fight before getting on the bus. So Bree's pushing it outside. She's walking with her bags, so she sit her bags down and she kind of walks to the grass. And I guess Ann had already knew. Ann threw her little shit down, girl, and them bitches started to tumble. And when I was watching the tumble, I said, oh Jesus, girl, because it looked like, it truly looked like Ann was getting the best of Bree. But let me tell you something, Bree flipped that bitch. It was all that motherfucking road. Them hoes was rolling in the dirt, girl. Rolling in the dirt, rolling in the grass. Security broke it up. It wasn't too much of a fight, but I did say Bree won that one because I like Bree, so I'm gonna say Bree won that one because it wasn't too much of a fight, but Bree won that too much of a fight. Okay, so that happens, and they kind of have the girls separated for a minute, and it kind of throws off the bus timing and loading or whatever. So I'm just gonna skip right past it until when they get on the bus. So when they get on the bus, there's nothing really to talk about. They were playing games and getting drunk, child. It was pure ratchetness, ghetto-ness, and naughty questions. I'm gonna skip past after the people start, you know, filling the drinks, child. I don't know how this happened, but Persuasion and Rock sitting next to each other and kind of, you know, making up and kind of, you know, asking for each other's forgiveness. I felt like Rock was getting a little choked up. She got kind of emotional because it might have been the drinks. It really might have been the drinks, girl, because they had finished that bottle. You know, Rock kind of get emotional and she kind of starts opening up a tad bit, and Persuasion feels like it's a safe space, and she opens up about a potential cancer scare. So Persuasion says, you know, right before the show, you know, she had a potential cancer scare, but they did call her and clear her and tell her everything's okay. And Rock is not feeling it. Rock is not feeling it. She's like, how the fuck did you switch this apology to I had a cancer scare and girl da 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 da? And she's like going off and not being like, so she's not being nice at all. She's not being nice at all, and she ends up walking to the front of the bus. And they cut to Jayla's confessional, child, and Jayla is being a shady bitch in these confessionals. So I really feel like Rock was being actually kind of rude. I felt like she was being mean about the situation. I mean, if somebody did or didn't or even had a cancer scare, I would be 100% there for them. I wouldn't try to make it a scene like they were trying to switch the conversation or X, Y, and Z. Everybody had been drinking. Maybe she just got kind of emotional and brought it up like you were opening it up too, bitch. Okay? So in the midst of Rock going off on Persuasion for her opening up about her cancer scare, Rock was really just going off like Persuasion had said she had herpes and she was like sharing the blunt with Persuasion or something. Like, Rock was really going off, but in the middle of that, Slim corrects Rock, was like, hey, you know, that's not nice, X, Y, and Z. So skip past that, forward past that, they finally make it to North Carolina, child, and they look like they had been on that bus for like 7 days, 6 nights, child. And they finally make it to North Carolina to this rental room ass Airbnb. And I mean, it looked so ratchet, so ghetto. The only thing that looked nice in the Airbnb was the kitchen. I was like, what? It looked like somebody's grandma's house. I get up in this house and all of the colors was off. I didn't feel like the color scheme was nice. All the furniture looked like it had got it from like Rent-A-Center. It was just a mess. It was just an mess, girl. Bree and Persuasion room looked like it came straight up out of a mental hospital, child. Make sure y'all tune into my mental hospital series. It's linked down below. It looked like they had been up in a minute. I don't know. They look beds. It was just so, it was so horrible. Anyway, so of course Zeus wastes time showing each room and showing each girl's reaction or X, Y, and Z. So we're gonna skip past into the scene that when Rolly and Slim was outside and Ann kind of walked out. You know, I don't like Ann, but she did look pretty when she walked out, and I live for Rolly. So Rolly and Slim are sitting outside when Ann approaches them, and they're all just, you know, smoking, you know, doing that guys. They've been smoking in each city, and I don't think none of the cities they've been to is legal, child. So Rolly gets Ann high, and she starts asking Ann, like, how do you feel about X, Y, and Z, and how do you feel about this person, and how do you feel about this person? And of course Ann is high and probably drunk too, and Ann's like, oh, I feel this way and I feel that way. And after Rolly gets done, she said, well, how do you feel about you? Yeah, girl, I I live for Rolly. Rolly needs more camera time. I live for Rolly. We 3 episodes in and I need some more Rolly. I need some more Rolly, bitch. Rolly said, well, how do you feel about you? Gagged because the bitch was sitting there and was sitting there talking shit about every motherfucking body, bitch. Well, what do you think you do wrong, okay? After that scene, it cuts back into the house, and of course, Zeus have these part-time ass motherfucking camera crew, so it cuts into the middle of an argument we know nothing about. And of course, they have to have Rolly sit in confessionals and explain what's going on. So what was going on is basically, Rolly was in her room, and she asked Bree to come upstairs to her room or whatever, and you know, come in her room and talk to her while she was in there rolling up. So Ed has the room right beside her, and Ann starts going off like, don't bring that bitch by my room, don't bring my bitch by my room, Ann has this mental condition where she thinks this is the real BGC and people are gonna throw your shit outside in the lake. Ed is going off, and Rolly is like, well bitch, I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to. Rolly and Ann is in this Motel 6 dining room, and Rolly is saying the whole time like, hey look, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. Are you sure you want to do this? Is you really feeling like this? It might just be the drinks, girl, you might just be drunk. So Rolly is just really giving Ann like, yeah, maybe it's just the tequila. And girl, Ann's not taking a sign, Ann's not taking a clue, Ann has not taken either way but the wrong way. She's going up the wrong motherfucking alley, bitch. Ann is sitting there basically explaining to Rolly like, no, you had that bitch by my shit, you had that bitch by my room, da da da. And Rolly's like, bitch, do you think she was just gonna like pull a telekinesis and steal all your shit and run up the road? Like, bitch, I'm right here, what the fuck you think is going on? And it's still going on. Ann has at this point got on top of the table and shaking ass and screaming like some ratchet bitch. Rolly is sitting there so unimpressed, so unbothered. Rolly finishing her blunt, child, doing her name, Rolly. She is rolling, bitch. She is so unimpressed, and she's very unbothered about the situation because Rolly knows she had this bitch all up and down this motherfucking Airbnb if she wants to. So they end up walking a little more close to each other after Rolly gets finished, you know, rolling that blunt, girl. She sits it down on the table and you know, gets up a little close to her, and Anna's in her face like, bitch, I will check any bitch, da 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 da. In the midst of motherfucking Ann doing her Martin Luther King, I had a dream speech, girl, Rolly gave it to her motherfucking ass. So Rolly is completely beating this bitch ass, and all connections are connecting, okay? So after security breaks them up or whatever, and pause, keep it to a moment of silence for the bitch that was screaming, fuck her up, Rolly, fuck her up, Rolly. I don't know who that was. That didn't sound like none of the baddies. If it was production, I could die. I don't know who it was, girl, but I was living for whoever was that screaming and hyping Rolly up. So the girls are broken up, and Rolly tells her like, bitch, be careful when you're speaking to the motherfucking queen, and I live. The episode ends on that motherfucking note. I feel like this week's episode name should have been like, let's beat Ann's ass week or something, girl, because they was tearing Ann ass up, girl. They was tearing her ass up the whole motherfucking episode, and I was living, girl. It gives 5s across the board, 10s across the board. I lived for it. But anyways, you guys, if y'all enjoyed this review, make sure y'all tune into next week's review, and if you haven't catch last week's review, it's pretty entertaining, so go watch that too. And like I said at the beginning of this video, the mental hospital series part 2 is out, child, and part 3 will be out this Friday, and part 4 will be out next Friday, girl. We doing this every motherfucking Friday, okay? Anyways, I love y'all so much. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all in a different video. Bye.